Good morning, good morning, good morning. I don't know, I feel like today I should have more to say, but I really don't. I'm just kind of like drinking my morning soda and hanging out. Yeah. I don't know, I was watching, the new Johnny Harris video, because now I'm running out of things to talk about. And, I found it kind of interesting. His points are kind of the points that we've heard all the time before with, like, people and how they work and yada, 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 especially when it pertains to, like, a particular person. But, I don't know. I was kind of wanting to talk about, like, how, you can't necessarily... I don't know. We'll talk about that later. It doesn't matter. But what I do want to discuss today is how if you tell yourself a lie enough, it becomes your truth. And it sounds really, really weird at first because you're just like, oh my God, if it's a lie, it's a lie. You know that it's a lie. And then, it's like a guilt that weighs on you. But that's not necessarily the case for a lot of circumstances. It can be the case for if you were to harm someone or, do something that causes feelings of guilt or remorse, right? But it's like the little white lies, like we know that our words have power, even to the extent of if you tell yourself something long enough, then you become said thing. Like if you tell yourself you're confident long enough, like fake it till you make it mentality, then you become confident. Like that's really fucking powerful. Like if you tell yourself you're something long enough, you become something. Regardless of whether or not it's true, it becomes true. So that can happen with a lot of our other belief systems that we don't necessarily like to accept. Sometimes it can be beliefs that we had instilled on us as children, young adults, or whatever. And sometimes it's our own belief system where like we find incomplete information towards a subject and then we believe that we understand everything about said subject. And then we build our entire belief system off of a singular puzzle piece in like a 10,000 puzzle piece set, It's really hard. It's really difficult because we don't necessarily always know what beliefs we have that we haven't necessarily evaluated because we've had them for so long. I'd like to think of religion as a good example of that. Like most of the time, we're taught and indoctrinated to be in whatever faith, our parents have, or lack of faith, and we don't necessarily question that until, most of the time people get older. But as we question it, we don't question everything about it. We can only question little bits and pieces. And most people stay in their religion if they can't question like the deeper reasons of why they believe what they believe in the first place, And that's just an example because that's like all cultural, right? Because I view religion to be culture. I don't necessarily view it to be like a separate thing, It's very much like who people are in their identity, but it's a shared thing, so cultural. It gets really complicated the more in depth you go into topics, like certain topics that I'm not even gonna mention or discuss because that's hot. That's heavy shit, And I've been having a good morning. I don't need to have a rough morning thinking about all that stuff. It's just, I don't know. It becomes difficult to deal with, Because we can't sit here all day questioning, is this something that I actually have a backing for? Or do I just believe this because my brain thinks it's more comfortable to have a general overarching concept for this idea than to actually dive into the idea itself? Whatever idea it is. It could be like people, concepts, whatever, honestly. It's difficult. It's a very difficult topic, because who am I to say what is real for another person? Like, what are my credentials to tell someone that their reality is false? I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. And I think understanding that we all have the capability, and we all are built upon unstable foundations in a lot of aspects of our lives. Like, if you think that you don't have something wrong with your foundation, then honey, you're not looking close enough. Because something will come along, and then you'll just be like, oh shit, I believed this thing for so long and it's just wrong. And you know, I think what matters is whether or not you can take accountability for your beliefs if proven wrong. And also look into what you define as being proven wrong. Like, does someone have to lay out an entire fucking 40-minute video essay to explain to you why you shouldn't have, like, freaking, I don't know, grapefruit juice with an antibiotic or like a medication, you know, in order to not take it because you don't believe that they can have a chemical reaction in your stomach? Like, that's just a silly example, you know? But like, does someone have to go to that extent for you to alter your belief system? Like, what is your bar for that? You know? Like, do you understand yourself in that way? I don't know. I know for me, I mean, this is like online, so like I'm not gonna talk about it too much, but I need peer reviews, you know, and I need to see that things are done independently, and I need to have other people also come to the same conclusion as me in order for me to feel validated with what I believe in. I'm not necessarily the type of person that says I know everything, because that's very flawed and that's how you fuck up your entire life. To think you know everything about something, just wow, that's an ego. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I like to have people who have different backgrounds that come to the same conclusion. So if you have a ton of people with completely different backgrounds all coming to the same conclusion of something, then the theory becomes more valid, and now I can start applying it to my life. Does it mean that it is fact? No, absolutely not. Very different. Just like everything that we deal with in our world, everything is theoretical. Nothing is set in stone. Nothing is 100%. And if you think it is, then you are very much misguided, and I'm sorry to burst your bubble in that way. But everything is just, you don't have to be right, you know, because most of us are wrong in the first place, and we don't get to know we're wrong until it's too late normally. So I don't know, find your parameters, figure out what makes things, you know, what makes you reconsider, and if it's valid for it to take that much or take that little. I don't know. Well, it's been interesting. Maybe I'll kind of like film in a weird spot today. I don't know. I've been trying to think of like different areas. I'm still kind of sick, so I really don't want to like be around a lot of people because it makes me feel guilty. I've been going into like places where no one is. I'm too shy for this world. I will, I don't know. I'll probably see you guys Friday. I mean, knock on wood. Don't want to jinx it. Oh my god. I did the knock. I don't know if you could hear it. But I hope you have a wonderful day. And toots.